All right, Ethan, welcome to your second swing analysis video. Um, Want to look at the one on your right is the one we did the first time, and the one on the left is the most recent one. So I'm going to walk through a few things, and I'm going to point some things out. One thing I want you to notice right off the bat, let's go ahead and look at the left side. I want you to just look at one thing, which is your finish. Everything looks pretty good. One thing you'll notice though is you have a hard time finishing with a full swing, and what I mean by that is that your shoulders and hips should be driving so much that the swing is so freed up that the bat wants to finish wrapped around your back. And let's watch something here. I'll kind of work backwards through this. See, you're right there. When you get to that point, you stop turning. Basically your body stops turning. It's like already spent. It's already turned all the way through, and at this point you should be able to twist, believe it or not, even more with your upper body so that you can finish real big all the way around yourself. Now let's look at the right side and see the earlier video. And see, you can see that you've improved on the left, the newer one. Let's watch this right one again. And I want you to just notice how this bat, you stop turning, and look, your bat just kind of flips through the end of it. And the easiest way you can tell this is watch this arm, the action of this arm. Watch what happens. It starts breaking down, and the bat just kind of flips through the hitting zone like that. Now you improved upon that on the left side. Let's look at the left side. You're getting a much better finish. So you are making improvements, and you're listening, and I really like that. So let's go through and look at some things. And as I said, we were going to work backwards through this. Now I'm going to tell you the reason why it might be difficult to get that really smooth, easy finish that wraps around your own body. The bat literally will just wrap around your back, and it's a very easy solution. And I'm going to show you what it is. What it is the stance that you're taking here is a bit wide and a bit broken down. If you notice, what I mean by broken down is, I mean there's a lot of bend in both knees like this, almost like a bow-legged squat. And what happens with that is it doesn't leave you a lot of room to stride into the ball. Watch what happens. The fact that you're starting like that, it doesn't give you very far to go with your stride. So what has to happen, remember, the chain of events goes from the ground up. And what happens is when you can't get any stride into the ball, it's very, very difficult to use your hips and to coil through the ball. And you'll see that right here. It's like you do a good job driving with your hips, but then they have to stop. They can't spin any further, and therefore your shoulders and upper body are limited, and it can't spin any further. So the bat starts to take over, and see how you kind of flip the bat at the end there, and that arm starts to break down like we talked about before. That's a sure indicator. Now, to fix this, all you got to do, I'd like to see you narrow this stance up to about right here on the start of your swing. Then what you'll have, like to see that leg there and this one about right here. What you'll have then is you'll have somewhere to go. You can plant, and then you'll be able to really take over with your hips. And notice something, one final piece of the puzzle. Notice how this leg never really does straighten out. If you remember on the pro videos that I showed you guys, at that point at contact, that leg should be like arrow straight right there. That means you've poured everything into it. But the reason that's not the case is because you're starting with that wide stance. So I think you could very, very easily, quote unquote, fix that. It's not really so much a fix because you're hitting the ball well, but what you're doing right now is kind of cheating yourself of a little bit of power. You can hit the ball with even more power if you were to narrow that stance and really pour through the hips, pour through the upper body, and like we see here, make a really big finish, big tall finish, and kind of, see, stop that breaking down of the bat, which indicates that you're not really finishing. So you're doing great. Focus on that. Focus on a big finish, and you're really going to sting the ball.